That was fun. Guys, welcome to Speed Picking for Beginners. Look, if you're wanting to play shred guitar, you want to play fast guitar solos, the one technique that I recommend learning first is speed picking. And I've got 3 really cool exercises for you to start out with in this video. After we go through these exercises, and this is very crucial, I'm going to show you how you can expand on these. And this is going to help you develop the most important thing you can develop as a guitarist, and that's your own style of playing guitar solos. And we'll have our usual guitar chat at the end of the video. Before we get to the exercises, let's cover just a few fundamentals of speed picking. Now, all it is just kind of a fancy word for alternate picking. You're picking back and forth instead of just playing downstrokes. Now, you probably already play some guitar solos if you're just starting out playing lead, or maybe you've been playing leads for a while now, but you're kind of stuck on downstrokes. Speed picking is just going to help you play notes a lot faster and actually with less effort. Another thing, when you're speed picking, you may notice that your pick has a natural tendency to be angled towards the bridge here. Not in an extreme sense, but just kind of angled towards that way, in that direction, as you're picking, alternate picking back and forth. Now, when you're playing downstrokes, it kind of goes the opposite direction. It has a tendency to go towards the neck. Again, not in an extreme sense, but just sort of angled that direction. So be conscious of that, and when you're picking back and forth, especially playing fast like we're about to do here, and angle your pick a little towards that direction. You may find that helps you get this down a lot faster. Last thing, and we'll get to the exercises here, I want to share how I hold my guitar pick, okay? So I've got 2 fingers here on one side, I've got my thumb on the other side. Now, that may or may not work for you. I only wanted to share this because, well, I like to share what I do because it may indeed work for you. And if you're struggling on how to hold your pick, just nothing feels right, well, hey, try this method. If that does not work, it's okay. What's important is that you keep playing around with that and find what feels most natural to you. That's extremely important because we're all a little different. So this first exercise is only 3 notes. We're playing everything on the G string here, and we're going to be playing each note 4 times. We're kind of hopping back and forth here. So again, G string, I'm starting out on the 10th fret, okay, 4 times. Then I'm going to play the 7th fret 4 times. Then I'm going to go fret 9, okay, the 9th fret 4 times, back to 7 4 times. So it's kind of a little back and forth thing there. Now, real quick, if you are brand new to playing lead guitar in general, what I would recommend is just hanging on one of those notes. Let's say the 7th fret here on the G string. Just go like this. And build up your speed. And I also recommend that you practice with a drum track or a metronome, a click track. Either one of those works. I like to throw a drum track in there and practice along with that because it's just a little bit more inspiring, especially if it's metal drums. One little trick I want to share with you here, this is a really cool strategy, is we're doing just a slight palm mute. I'll do this a lot of times. And if you've ever tried to speed pick and it just kind of sounds muddy, but you know you're hitting the notes, like, okay, I'm playing accurate, but it still sounds a little muddy, well, this tactic will really help clean things up. And again, it's just a very slight palm mute, and I'll even kind of like raise my palm on and off that bridge from time to time as I feel that I need to. And this is just something that you'll base on your own intuition as you play more. You'll know when you kind of need to palm mute that a little bit and then pull off a little bit. So it's a very cool technique. It's kind of a delicate technique, if you will, but it's just something I wanted to share with you because it will help clean things up a little bit. Let's go over this one more time and try to listen for those little palm mutes, that slight little palm mute that I throw in there. I like to call these speed bursts, and in this case, they're just 3-note speed bursts. Very simple and very quick and snappy. This just helps you get fast with just a short series of notes. And again, we will be expanding on these. We're going to talk about expanding on all this stuff after the lesson here. But let's go through this exercise because I believe this is a very good exercise and it's very digestible, right? There are only 3 notes here. That's all we're doing. Real fast 3 notes. And then we're done. Then we move on to the next, okay? So what I'm doing, I'm starting out on the A string here. We're gonna play frets 12, 14, and 15. We're gonna play those real fast. After that, I want you to go up a little bit, okay, and we're just going to change our finger configuration. That's the reason for this next little series of notes here. Instead of first finger, third finger, and pinky, now we're going to be using first finger, second finger, and pinky. We're going to slide up, same string, A string. We're going to be playing 14, 15, and 17, just like this. If you're more comfortable, and this to me, this is just a personal preference, if you're more comfortable playing this specific series of notes with your first finger, second finger, and third finger like this, then feel free to do that. I like to try to use my pinky as much as possible. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. And I don't want to give you guys bad advice here, but guys, I always like to steer you in the direction to playing what feels most natural to you. We're all a little bit different. We have different size hands, fingers. Some people have longer fingers, skinny fingers. Some people have stubby fingers. So a lot of that is going to take into account as to how you approach playing your guitar solos, especially when you start playing faster solos with speed picking. All right, let's move on to the next series of notes, which are basically the same thing. We're just kind of reversing that pattern. And we're also going to be playing these on the G string instead of the A string. So we'll start out down here on the 19th fret. It's going to be 19, 17, 16. After that, we're going to go 17, 16, 14. One thing I should have mentioned to you, in these specific little licks here, I am actually using my neck pickup here. Now the first lick, the first exercise, I had it on my bridge pickup. I was using that pickup. But for this, I'm using my neck pickup. We talked about cleaning things up. Remember, I gave you that little palm muting strategy in the first lick there. That kind of helps clean up things. Well, in this case, I feel like the neck pickup, when we're playing notes like this here, especially those lower notes, speed picking, and even the other notes, we're playing on the higher register here, I feel like that neck pickup just provides a lot more clarity. So it's going to sound just a little bit cleaner using that. Let's go over that one more time. Now, I know that sounded like a lot of notes for a beginner's lesson on speed picking here, but let's simplify this. This is actually really easy. I'm going to share a really cool strategy you can use for your guitar solos no matter what level you're at. And that strategy, well, I'll just tell you, it's playing the same pattern twice. That's one, okay? And all we're doing here is playing 3 notes at a time, okay? We're playing 3 notes, repeating that. Go to another string, play 3 notes, repeat it, and so forth. That's all we're doing. So when you break it down like that, it's really, really simple. What this is doing, though, it's getting you used to moving across multiple strings. We're starting on the G string. We're going to play from the G string to D string to A string. So on that G string, we're going to be playing frets 17, 16, and 14. Again, we're going through that 2 times, okay? Next, we're going to move up to the D string, and we're going to play frets 17, 15, and 14 twice. Next, we're going to move up to the A string. We're going to play that exact same pattern that we just played, okay? Frets 17, 15 and 14, and then I'm going to slide up. After we play that twice, I'm going to slide up to the 12th fret, or slide down to the 12th fret, okay? So again, this is the whole lick here, slow. Let's go through it at normal speed one more time. Your next step is to start expanding on these licks that we're playing here with the speed picking technique. So let's go back to the very first one here. We played this right here. Well, what if you did that same strategy, that same pattern, but just somewhere else? Let's move everything up a little bit, okay? Okay, instead of frets 10, 9, and 7, we're playing on frets 12, 10, and 9. Well, let's move up even further. Let's go 14, 12, and 10. Throw those together and we have something like this. So a very cool melodic pattern. I mean, you could take that and put that into a song, like a really cool power metal song or something like that. And we created that, and you're going to be creating this as well. Stuff like this off of just one little lick that we learned with 3 simple notes. All we did was expand that strategy. Now we move on to the second lesson here where we're talking about these little speed bursts. Remember this? What happens if we expand on that? Let's just add, I don't know, a couple more notes to that first little lick here. All we did was went over to the D string and added 2 more notes to that simple little 3-note pattern. Made it into a 5-note pattern. We went from the A string to the D string and added frets 12 and 14. You could do the same thing with the next little lick. Okay, just play around with that. You don't have to play exactly what I played here. I'm kind of just making this stuff up on the fly because that's what I really want you to do. And hey, if you hit some notes that don't quite sound right, well, don't play those notes anymore. Play something else instead. This is how I personally like to approach guitar. It's like, okay, let's experiment. Let's just play some different notes and use these tactics, these techniques that we're learning, and let's see what we can come up with. The final lesson that we went over. I mean, you could just take that same pattern and play it somewhere else on the fretboard for starters. Or what if you didn't follow through all the way on that pattern? What if you stopped midway and just did something else, which I strongly recommend that you try. What I did there was I didn't just stick to speed picking. I added some downstroke licks in there as well, which I want to encourage you to do that too. As you get better at this technique, at speed picking, dedicate some time to it, but also don't forget to expand outside of that and add in those down picking notes as well and just kind of blend those together. It's time for our guitar chat, guys, but real quick, if you do not have my free Metal Riffs and Licks practice guide, you can grab a copy of that. There's a link in the description of this video. That's literally helped thousands of guitar players not only come up with some different ideas, but also establish a practice routine. Now, if you have the free guide, Metal Riffs and Licks, I also have online guitar courses out there. So links to all this good stuff, those are in the description of this video. First of all, I hope this lesson helped you, especially that last part that we just went over, expanding on these licks that I shared with you in the video. This is the most important thing, in my opinion. It's the most important thing that you can do. Sure, learn what I'm sharing with you, and if you guys want to learn different songs and different solos, those are great. However, go to that next level and expand beyond that. Start adding your own notes, start adding your own flavor. You can take one little lick, like we did just now in the expansion. You can take one lick and you can just make it into this really cool melodic shred or just whatever. And I strongly encourage you guys to do that because look, it's more than just playing shred guitar. It's more than just playing fast solos. It's about developing your own style and sound not someone else's. You guys know I preach this message like it's its own religion. I really care about you guys developing your own style as you go through this journey as a guitar player. Now, real quick, guys, I am working on a lead guitar course. When it's out there, I'll put it up here. I hope to finish that by the end of the summer of 2023 here. So guys, if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel here. I'm constantly cranking out content for you. And hey, if you have any questions about speed picking or just shred guitar or anything in general, hey, leave those in the comments section. I love reading what you guys have to say. Guys, until the next time, you know what to do. Keep it metal.